Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Modelling Man at YouTube with another modelling video. Today we'll be doing a tutorial on fine and tactful application of putty to get rid of imperfections or seam lines in very difficult to reach places, or cleaning up mess or mistakes on raised detail areas, or anything that is just generally difficult. And we do come across a lot of those situations within this hobby. All you're going to need is a hobby knife, toothpick, a power of Q-tip cotton buds, a putty of your choice. I recommend Squadron, and hobby masking tape. My recommendation, Tamiya. Example of a scenario may be a kit rich in detail, such as the surface of a textured kit, a fine molds piece, a raised detail with a seam line through it, or an aircraft fuselage with many panel lines running across your seam line. Application of putty can be a very messy job, especially with a Q-tip, and you don't want to be smothering out or filing the hell out of detail. The concept is very easy, and there's a lot of thinking that'll have to be done on your part, because there's no way of describing every kit out there. But generally the areas you don't want to be disturbed or have no putty, laying down some masking tape and letting the putty pour over, a lot like you'll do with painting, but you don't have to be as careful. The application of your putty work, and the immediate lifting of the mask. And sometimes if there's extra seams in the area, you may re-engrave or dig with your toothpick or knife. Now for the example that I'm using for this slideshow, on my GM Canon, a typical 80s era robot kit with very bad seam lines. Putting this together in some of his tight joints, even under the strength of super glue and Squadron, the couple of seams have re-split, and the raised detail was not too desirable in the amount of sanding and grinding I did, in fear of losing all of the raised detail. What I did was mask them off and only apply the putty on top of the raised actual square panels, which gave me a lot more material to grind back. Once the putty was applied, the tape was immediately taken off to keep a very sharp edge, as you would do with painting. Within a period of 24 hours or overnight, I was prepared to do as much sanding as required to go down to a flat, fairly nice aesthetic surface. During this refinement process, before the second level of putty work was applied, it was important to prime the kit to look for these mistakes, sink lines, or any extra further application of putty. When you got marbling colour of base plastic primer and putty all over the place, it's very hard to make these decisions, where a little bit of primer can do an excellent job of looking for these mistakes. Once finished, you have to put another layer of primer just as a final check before paint is applied, so you're not applying paint on top of further mistakes. As we could see with this final photo under light, the feature is looking a lot better, and the surfaces are as they should be, fairly looking as the GM's detail would stand out. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further tips, tricks, tutorials, reviews, and other interesting hobby related content.